Hello lovely Flosstube friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Lauren, also known as Cross Stitch Bunny here on YouTube and over on Instagram. Big welcome back to everyone that's returning. Hello if you are brand new. I have got lots of lovely stitching to share with you today, 7 projects in total. So this is everything I've worked on in February because I did not get round to doing a mid-month update. We had a lot going on. It was my mum's birthday. It was my birthday, it was the kids' half term. February has been very, very busy. So, 7 projects to share with you. 2 of them are finishes. 1 is an actual FFO, which is a very rare thing for me. I've got 2 lovely new starts and a couple of existing whips. I have ticked off all of my Whip Go February goals and my additional self-imposed goal, so I'm feeling pretty happy with February's progress. There is going to be no haul, nothing like that at all today. It's just going to be straight up stitching update. So let's get started. My first project to share with you is my FFO, which is sat right here behind me. So this is my Irish blessing piece, and I finished the stitching in February and I also framed it. So hoping for not too much glare, but apologies, it is framed. I think I'm going to struggle slightly. I will pop up, tell you what, I'll pop up a picture on the screen first. That will make more sense. I'll show it you before it was framed. So this is just the completed stitching, so you can get a nice overview of the words. You can probably just read it a bit more clearly without the glass on. So that is when I had finished the stitching, and then I've framed it in this lovely frame. So like I said, you'll get the glare a little bit unfortunately on the glass, but I can show you the frame that I picked. So I picked this nice green frame. It's got like a bit of gold around the rim as well, and then it's in a double mount. So I've gone for a mushroom coloured mount, I think was the name of that, with this sort of mid green which ties in nicely with the green letters. So yeah, nice. I'm really struggling with the light. Is that a bit better? So yeah, it's in a nice green frame, green inlay on the mount. And I just love this. I framed this myself. The frame I ordered as a custom size from the website Easy Frame. It is the first time I've ordered from them. I was very happy, so I just literally went through the process of selecting the size that I wanted, choosing my mount colours, whether I wanted single mount, double mount, loads of different frame options to go through. And it arrived really quickly within about 4 days. And yeah, I self-framed it by putting it onto acid-free backing board. It was pinned, so I've not got my pins here. I thought I did because I framed it here in the kitchen, but I've put them away. I just have like very small stainless steel pins, pinned all my stitching around the 4 edges of the board, and then put it into the frame. Yeah, pretty happy. I think I've done quite a good job of getting it even on both sides. And for this piece I didn't opt for any special glass, so it's not anti-reflective, it's not upgraded glass. I just went for their standard 2mm acrylic glazing. The one thing I would say is like my package was very well packaged from Easy Frame, but when it did arrive, this piece of acrylic in this frame did actually have a scratch on it, even though it had protective film on both sides. When I took that off, there was like about a centimetre scratch that was quite deep. You could feel it. I emailed them, and within about an hour they apologised profusely. I'd sent them a photo so they could see the scratch. They apologised profusely, said they'd immediately dispatch me a new cut piece of acrylic, and they did, and it got to me within 48 hours. So yeah, very positive ordering experience. Like the customer service when something did go a little bit wrong was excellent. And I ordered 2 frames at the same time because Easy Frame do free delivery. I think if you spend over £50 this wasn't going to be £50 by itself for this frame, but I did need a frame for the next finish that I'm about to show you, and I ordered a frame for that finish as well. So I haven't fully finished my other one yet, but I do have a frame waiting. So just a last look. This is Irish Blessing. The name of the designer has completely flown my mind. Is it Twisted Thread? If it isn't, I will correct that on screen. I think it's Twisted Thread. If I'm wrong, apologies, and there will be a note on the screen. But yeah, Irish Blessing, and I've stitched this. At the moment, it's just sat in our kitchen here with my birthday flowers, because it's been my birthday. So yeah, at the moment, it's just sat here in the kitchen, and so I'm seeing it and enjoying it. And at some point it may get gifted to Jack's dad as and when we see him, but you know, we don't see him that much, but Adam goes to visit him occasionally, so maybe at that point it will leave our kitchen and go to its new home. But for the moment it's here for Adam and I to look at and enjoy, and I see it every day because it's right in the kitchen in the middle of the house. So yeah, that's nice. My next finish, oh actually this is a tiny finish. Which one shall I show? No, I will show you the tiny one first. This isn't the one I bought a frame for, but we'll go with this one first. So in my last episode, I was telling you how I really wanted to finish my Shimanchu New Year rabbit, and I did. So although I finished this not in time for the traditional normal new year going into 2024, because it does say 2023 on it, I did finish it within the lunar new year, because the lunar new year started at some point in February, not on February 1st, but some way into February. Oh, sorry, I just kicked the camera. Yes, so I did finish it within the lunar calendar year of 2023. I'll give you a bit of a closer look. So this is just my tiny little rabbit that's been stitched over one, I think on 32 count. And this is just like a linen scrappy offcut in like a pale muted yellowy cream colour. There's lots of clever negative space in this bunny design, and it is really pretty and really delicate. It's very small, being that I did it 1/1 on such a small count, and I've just got the date in here. The designer for this was Cheiko, and I bought it from her Ko-fi shop quite a while ago, back at the very beginning of 2023. It is only small because I've done it on such a small count, but actually there was a lot of stitches in this. It was pattern keeper compatible, so that did help me to be able to track and just like mark it off efficiently. So that was lovely that it was pattern keeper compatible. And the way that I've done it on such a small count, it's not very big, and it could easily lend itself to being some sort of ornament or like mini pillow at some point. Definitely need to do something with it, but I'm not in a rush. The fact that I've got that one finish done behind me is a miracle, because I never fully finish anything. So I do have other finishing goals on my whip go. So as and when they come up, I will try and finish some more things. But yes, that is finish number 2, is my bunny. And this is the one that I'm really excited about. So I have a fancy lady finish, and she is gorgeous and I love her. I think you can probably all guess who it is if you regularly watch my videos or follow me on Instagram. It is my Snow Maiden. And look how beautiful she is. I absolutely love her. I am so very pleased to have her finished. Look at her. Honestly, I could just stare at her for hours. She's beautiful. I'll try and give you a bit more of a close-up. So she's got all this gorgeous beading in her headdress. Some of the beads sort of make her, oh, I can't quite reach, make a lovely snowflake here. Isn't she stunning? all this beadwork up the front of that dress, the purple flowers in the dress that have got beads in them. I absolutely love her. Really, really beautiful. She's been a long time in the making. I think I started her in either 2021 or 22. And she's very special because she is the very first big fancy lady that I have ever finished. So I have a lot on the go. You've seen quite a few fancy ladies on my floss tube, but she is the first big fancy lady to be finished. I have previously finished a Bella Filipina mermaid, a Nora Corbett mermaid, and a Nora Corbett fairy, but they were all small. None of them were big. So the Bella Filipina mermaid I finished was the retreat exclusive, so a lot less detailed and a lot smaller than the normal Bella Filipina mermaids. And the Noras that I finished were like a simplified mermaid, again from the Nora Corbett line as opposed to Mirabilia. And the little sunflower fairy that was from the Hirschner's website, again not as big as the big fancy ladies. So she is my first proper Nora / Mirabilia finish, and I'm absolutely over the moon with her. I have stitched her on this lovely Snow Flurry ombre fabric from my own website. So it's just basically like a very subtle blue with a snow print, but the blue on the ombre version sort of varies slightly. So it's darker and lighter in some spots, whereas like there's also the Snow Flurry I do that is just blue. This is the one that's sort of got a bit of a variation in the blue. This is on 32 count. It's all been done 2/1, including the skin. I did not mess around with doing her skin over 1, especially because it's not skin coloured, because it's all white and greys and sort of merges into the rest of the design. I thought it would be a nightmare to even work out like where the dress starts and the skin begins and ends, and it was just going to be a real headache. So I stuck to 2/1, and do you know what? I think she looks beautiful. I think when I very first started doing Mirabilias, I felt like I had to do the skin 1/1 or 10 stitch 2/1, and I've just, having finished her, I think, you know, she looks lovely. There's nothing wrong with doing their faces or their skin, just normal. The same as the rest of the design. I do know that when you do it 1/1, it looks really delicate and really tiny. And it does look beautiful from a distance, but sometimes up close, I actually think the stitches look neater when they are over 2. And especially like on my November Blue Topaz Fairy that's currently in progress, I have done her skin 10 stitch 2/1, and if you get up close to it, it actually doesn't look that neat. It looks lovely from a distance, but when you're on top of it, it's actually a bit more messy. I don't know, I may still do some ladies with 1/1 skin or 10 skin in the future, but I think they look just as lovely when you do it like this, and it takes so much less time, which is obviously a big bonus because these take a lot of hours to stitch anyway. Yeah, why give yourself more trouble and make them even longer to finish? So yeah, we'll see, but I definitely am happy with how she looks, and I don't think it's at all detracting from her beauty that her skin is over 2. I'm super happy. Really, really happy with her. The frame I've got for her is like a sort of slate bluey grey frame with a double mount inside that as well. I've forgotten what I chose for the mount colour. I've kept that one packaged because I didn't want it to get all dusty or anything before I use it. But hopefully at some point soon you will see her framed, because I do have the frame. So yeah, that was Snow Maiden by Mirabilia, Nora Corbett, and that was on 32 count Snow Flurry Ombre from Stitch Bunny, and that was even weave, not linen. that is all my finishes, so we will move on to existing whips, and then I will save my couple of lovely new starts for the very end. So let's have a look at whips. My first whip to share with you today is Mill Hill Buttons and Beads kit. So that is the little stitching bird. This tends to be my little travel sort of project, but during February half term I took the kids to my mum and dad's house to see them, took this along in my bag with the best intentions of putting in a few threads. I didn't get round to it, and then I felt really bad when I got home. I was like, poor little travel project that never gets to travel anywhere because I rarely go anywhere, and then when it does get to go somewhere I don't even get it out of my bag. So when I got home I actually did a couple of little sessions. Not a lot, maybe just a couple of hours in total, but I did do a little bit of work on this just to keep it slowly plodding along. This is what it looked like last time you saw it, and if I can just get it the right way up, oh, it's getting easier to see which way up it is at this point. I've done quite a bit more. You can actually see that a bird is forming, look at that. Got my cute little bird here. I've done the beak, filled in some more of the blue backgroundy bits. There's some spaces left here in the pink. This is all full beading. And there it is, my project on my little stitching bird. Really do enjoy this one. It's very small, very easy to transport, and it's just on the 14 count sort of equivalent paper that comes in the Mill Hill kit. And obviously it's a kit, so I'm just using all the beads and all the threads that came with it. I thought the other day when I was looking for something that I could get a quick finish on, because this is so small and it looks really small, I was like, maybe I could get a really quick finish on that. And then I actually worked out the stitch count. It doesn't look very big, but I think this is over 100. Let's have a quick look. Does it tell me? Doesn't tell me the stitch count offhand, but I know it's no less than 100 by 100 stitches, and it may even be more than that. It might be like 120 by 120, but then I did the quick calculation. I was like, actually, even if it's 100 by 100, which is the very smallest that it's going to be, that's like 10,000 stitches. I was like, yeah, it's actually not a quick finish. So I worked on something else. But I do hope that I can just keep plodding along with this one. It is a really nice one. It will be lovely when it's finished, and I think this will be very easy to frame as well because it is just on sort of the rigid paper. It's a very square design. I can literally just get a frame with the right square aperture, and that should be so easy to frame. So 100% this will be an FFO when I get round to finishing the stitching, because I think it'll be a super easy finish for me to get under my belt and get it all framed and nicely displayed somewhere. I think I'll definitely put this one on my sort of crafty bookshelfy bits where all my stitching stuff is stored, because it's very appropriate, isn't it? Like a little stitching bird. It should definitely belong with my cross stitching stash, I think. That is that one. What is next? Animal alphabet. Oh, so animal alphabet I've been working on for quite a while. This is a present for my little boy, and I have managed to do 5 letters this month. So this is what it looked like last time you saw it. This is a, oh, I've dropped my scissors. This is a Design Works kit, so I'm using everything that came from the kit. I'm just going to take it out of the frame because you really can't see it very well. Take that frame off. I'm just stitching it in one of my favourite Nurge plastic frames. We are very creased, very crumpled because I'm having to move the Nurge hoop all over the place. But here is my stitching. So as you can see, I have done 5 letters. My goal for this year, starting in January, was to do 5 letters every single month on this until it is finished, and if I can stick to that, I think it should be finished in, I think it was 4 months. So yes, it should be finished by the end of April, I think. I'm not going to sit here and count the letters right now, but I'm pretty sure that yes, doing 5 letters a month, it would be finished by April. So I didn't cheat. My goal was to do 5 letters. I didn't say they had to be consecutive letters. But I had done my other 4 letters, and then, so I've got my little mouse here. He's new, you've not seen him before. Ostrich, nest, with these 2 little birds in it. A kangaroo is done over here. Little ladybird is done. I'm just a bit confused. I thought that it hadn't, no, I must have already finished the kangaroo last time you saw it. Yeah, I must have started from L, that's right. So ladybird, mouse, nest, ostrich, and then obviously it should have been P, which is P for pig on this design. However, I wanted to count from the jaguar to get my placement for the quail and the pig. The quail is sat on top of the pig. I wanted to work from the jaguar down for my spacing and counting, because I did make a little bit of a mistake doing my ostrich, and this is actually not in the right place. It's fine, it ended up a bit closer to the bird's nest than it should have been. So I was worried that if I counted my pig from here, because the pig's about here, if I'd counted from my ostrich, then I could just end up getting more and more things wrong, and at some point it may have caught up with me and things might not have fit. So I just thought it was safer to work down from here, get my quail done. I haven't written the word quail in backstitch yet, but other than that, I've done my 5 letters, and literally writing that single word in black backstitch will take me all of 5 minutes. So we're saying it's a win. I've done my 5 letters. When I pick it up to do my 5 letters this month, I will just put the word quail in, and then I will be off on my next 5 letters, starting with the pig, now that I've got my quail to reference the point from, and then I will carry on doing my other 4 letters for the month. Hadley is really loving this. Like I said, it's a Designworks kit. It's very cartoony, very child friendly. It's on 14 count Ada, and I've been stitching this. Obviously the kids are around me at the weekend if I've got my stitching out, or if I do a little bit after they've got home from school and we've done all the things they need to do. If they're chilling out and playing some games or playing with their toys or watching a bit of telly, I'll get my stitching out, and he does come over and sit with me when I've got this one out. He knows it's his, and he'll go, "Mummy, is that mine?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's the one I'm doing for you." And he's practicing like sounding out his letters with it, which is really cute. So he'll literally sit next to me while I'm stitching, and he'll be like frog, cat, and he's like practicing all his letters with the ones I've done so far. So that is lovely. I cannot wait to get this up on his wall. It's going to go in his bedroom, and not too far off, as long as I keep sticking to my 5 letters a month. This will be a finish in the fairly near future. So that is that width, and then I've got 2 lovely new starts to share with you, and then we'll be all done for today. So new start number 1 is my, what should we do first? I can only see one of them here. Oh no, here it is. It's still in the bag. I confused myself. New start number 1 is Variety of Life by Wrendale. And you will have seen me start this on my Instagram if you follow me on Instagram. So my lovely friend Rosie from Rosie X Stitches came to my house during the half-term break. There was the Saturday, I think it was Saturday the 17th maybe. My kids went to grandma's for the day because I had a lot of stuff going on in the morning. The kids had a birthday party to go to, and I wouldn't have been able to take them to the birthday party, so they went to grandma's house. I got all my jobs and all my stuff done in the morning that I needed to do, and then Rosie came round at about 11, half 11, and we sat down and we stitched. Rosie bought loads of snacks with her, delicious snacks. We had cake, we had chocolatey things, we had brownie things, all the delicious stuff. And we just sat in my living room, we stitched. Rosie helped me with some puppy stuff that I still needed to do while she was here. Thank you, Rosie, it was very helpful. And yeah, we both had the same new start. And I absolutely love this design. It is gorgeous. This is the new Wrendale plastic-free packaging. 14 count or 16 count, I think. Although it says, oh no, it does say 16 count. I thought it said 14 count on the box, but no, it is the 16 count. This doesn't come in even weave. They only do it in an Ada option. So I am stitching it on Ada. Decided to have a centre start with my bird, and on the day that Rosie and I were stitching together, this is how far we both got. So yeah, my stitching and Rosie's stitching on the day. We both had centre starts, but it's still really interesting how everyone takes a completely different path with their stitching. So that is where we got to when we were together. And then since then, I have done quite a bit more work on this. I've sort of surprised myself with how far on my owl is. So the owl is obviously the bird in the middle. And this is my owl. Oh, that board is going to hide my face. Let's do it that way. Oh, that way. There we go. I'll get there in the end. That's better. This is where I'm up to. Look at that owl. There is no denying what it is now. It is no longer just a blob. It is definitely an owl, and I just think he's beautiful. I do find with the Wrendale designs, like they are very confetti heavy by nature. There is a lot of jumping around, not necessarily single stitches, but there is a lot of jumping around. There's not much block stitching. And there might be an area where you've got 5 stitches of one colour, 4 stitches, 3 stitches, like they're just all dotted around, but the effect is undeniably beautiful. Like they look so pretty. I love Hannah Dale, who designs all the Wrendale designs. I've got stuff of hers all around my house. Biscuit barrels, mugs, trays, playing cards. I love Wrendale. I think I may have got gifted some Wrendale oven gloves or an apron for Christmas as well. I'm sure it was an apron. I'll have to double check that. But yes, I do love my Wrendale things, and I definitely enjoy stitching all the Wrendale designs. I've not done too many of them, but I do have a lot in stash. I think this is my 3rd or maybe even just my 2nd Wrendale. I'll have to go back in my little finishes book and see how many I've actually done. I've done the Daisy Mouse and my mind is just going blank and I can't think of any others that I've done. I thought there was at least one more. But in any case, this one is lovely. Obviously, it's a big, long one with all the different birds on it. And I'm hoping that I can get this owl finished in February. That's not a goal. I'm not putting it out there as a goal, just sort of like an it would be nice. If I get all my actual goals out of the way, it would be nice to finish off the month of March even, not February. It would be nice to finish the owl in this month. It's March the 1st, Lauren. We're in March. It'd be nice to finish it by the end of this month. And then maybe I could do like another bird per month because the other birds are all smaller, so they would be a bit easier to finish. So yes, lovely Wrendale owl being stitched with all the kit stuff from my kit. Then my last new start is a combined birthday new start and also my Year of the Dragon new start. So we are now in the Year of the Dragon. My bunny is finished and out of the way for 2023, and I decided that I would stitch a dragon for 2024. I do already have another dragon on the go, which is my koi dragon, but I decided to start a new dragon, which is all Anita's fault. Anita the Violet Stitcher, who is dragon obsessed, is stitching this with me. We both started it on my birthday, so we like combined it as being a New Year dragon start and also a birthday start for me. I didn't want to have two different starts, like dragon and birthday, because I am trying to reduce my numbers. So here is the pattern, Sapphire Dragon. This is by Anastasia Usova, Korean-based designer, I believe. Website is called Art Custom Korea or Custom Art Korea. One or the other. Lovely designer, lots of nice patterns, but this one definitely stands out for me as a particularly lovely pattern of hers. And this, if I can get it the right way up, I think this is the right way, is my start. So I've not done a huge amount, but I literally only worked on this on my actual birthday and then like an hour on it the next day. And we were quite busy on my birthday. Adam took me out for lunch and other nice things. So I'd say it's a pretty good start. This is a total of 3 hours stitching. So over 2 sessions of stitching, I did 3 hours total. So that is 3 hours of work. You can already see that I've done a lot of different colours already, considering it's such a small start. Like, yeah, there's lots of purples and blues, but then interspersed with like smaller blocks of like yellows, pinks, reds, and I've been able to jump around between colours. Quite a lot of this part is with blended threads, and this project does have a lot of blended colours. So if I actually open my box of threads, it doesn't look like there's a huge amount of colours in this design, because there isn't, but it is very cleverly designed that a lot of your threads you are blending, and so you're using 2 colours, 1 strand of each, to get like shading effects without having to use more colours. It's very clever and does really, really make it look beautiful. I don't know why people find blending such a pain, but I definitely do. It just must be psychological, like having to cut threads off 2 different bobbins, making sure they're the same length, and then not being able to do a loop start. Yes, blending is a bit of a faff, but in previous projects I've done with a lot of blending, I've sort of avoided doing the blended stuff and just picked out all the solid coloured bits to stitch, and then that leaves me with all the blends to do at the end. So I thought to myself, I'm not doing that this time. I am just going to start in the centre, and the first symbol that I picked from the centre was a blend. So I started with some blended threads, and then I've had a few breaks from it by doing other bits. But I'm stitching this on Navy Ada. It is just an 18 count piece of Navy Ada from my stash. With this being like essentially a full coverage design, I know it's a circle and that some of the bits of the dragon sort of protrude out of the circle, so it's probably not technically considered a full coverage, but from my perspective, like this whole circle is going to be stitched. There are no blank spaces within the design, and if I did end up getting it framed in a round design, you wouldn't see any of the fabric around it other than maybe like a, a tiny bit, like a couple of centimetres. And I just thought that it would be a good opportunity to use up some of my Ada stash. I am leaning a lot more towards even weaves and linens these days, but I do have a lot of Ada stashed. I was just looking for something blue that this would fit on, and so this is what I pulled out. It does fit on this, but the margin is actually very tight. It's fine this way, but from top to bottom, like literally, I will maybe have a couple of centimetres of clearance, top and bottom. So yes, ideally this fabric should have been a little bit bigger, but I just thought it was a good thing to use it up on. So there we go. I've got slightly stingy, small margins, top and bottom, but it definitely will fit 100%. I've checked and checked and checked again. It will fit, and it will have a tiny bit of space, top and bottom. So that is that new start. So that is all of my stitching to show you. Now if I can just find my notebook, I will give you a little whip go update and then we will be done for today. So in terms of whip go and a goals update for the month of February, my whip go goals were to do 5 hours on a project that was already 50% complete. I absolutely smashed that out of the water with Snow Maiden. She was the project that I picked to work on because she was already halfway. And once I'd done that 5 hours on her for whip go, I was so close that I just kept going and kept going until she was done. So that was a big tick for whip go goal number 1. My second whip go call for February was to FFO something, and I did. There it is. So yeah, I FFO'd Irish Blessing. I actually got a finish on Snow Maiden, even though I was only needing to do 5 hours on her. So that is brilliant. Now I do have on my whip go a few goals that are repeated. So I do have other goals that are 5 hours on something 50% complete, like that is going to come up again. I also have goals of doing Fancy Ladies specifically for 5 hours, and that is actually one of my calls for this month, is 5 hours on a Fancy Lady. Now I could actually tick that straight off my list because Snow Maiden has already covered both of those bases. Like for my February goal, I worked on her for 5 hours. For my work on something over 50% goal, I could just literally give that March goal a tick. 5 hours on Fancy Lady because I did way more than 10 hours to get Snow Maiden finished from when I've picked her up this year. But I'm trying not to do that for whip go this year. So I'm trying to do the goals in the month that they are called. And so if I've got a stitching goal that comes up like this one has, 5 hours on a Fancy Lady, and I've actually already done enough hours on Snow Maiden to tick it, I'm not going to. Like, I'm doing the goals in the months, so I'm not getting ahead of myself with them, if that makes sense. Like, even if I've done one of the goals on there, because they're not assigned to a specific project, they're all unnamed projects, it's just Fancy Lady, seasonal whip, something like that, I'm not going to tick off anything that hasn't actually been called yet. And that means that if I've done extra stitching in a month that's already been, that could have been attributed to that goal, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to ignore it. The only exception is going to be my FFOing. So FFO something appears on my whip go at least 4 times, maybe 5 times. I'm not a frequent FFOer. I don't fully finish a lot of things. So for example, I've already got my frame for Snow Maiden. If I frame her this month, in the month of March, I will tick off any FFOs as counting towards future whip go goals. I hope that makes sense. So if it's a stitching goal, I will do it within the month. However, if I frame some things, and you know, if all my FFO goals get called in the month of December, well, they couldn't all get called in one month, but you know what I mean. If all of them get called at the back end of the year, I would just not finish that many things in such a short space of time. So any FFOing I do, Snow Maiden will be next. I will tick off those as having already been done in advance, but any stitching will just be done in the month that it is called. So that being said, like I said, this month's goal for March is 5 hours on a Fancy Lady. I don't know which Fancy Lady I'm going to work on, but 5 hours on any of the ones that I've already got on the go. It won't be a new start, it will just be working on a whip, so I'll just pick one out. My other goal is 5 hours on something seasonal, and I do have a specific project in mind for that, so I'm hoping to pick up my Owl Forest silver hoof frost piece. That is, I'm pretty sure that I'm at least halfway or thereabouts on that, and I'm pretty sure that by doing 5 hours on it, it will be so close to a finish that it will probably spur me on the same way that I did in the month of February with Snow Maiden. Like doing that 5 hours on that whip will just encourage me to get it completely finished, because I will be close. And at that point I probably won't want to put it away when it's not got much stitching left to go. So that is my plan. Other than that, do 5 more alphabet letters, and hopefully I'll have another month for March where I've done all of my goals. It has been lovely to film this today. I feel like I've got through things quite quickly. It's 12:45, or maybe not as quickly as I thought, but we'll see. I don't know, this will probably be about half an hour to 40 minutes long, so not too bad considering we've looked at 7 projects. I will endeavour to do a mid-month update for March, which is my usual format, but like I said, February was mental, so busy, birthdays all over the place. Oh, it was also my granddad's 92nd birthday, so yeah, 3 family birthdays, half term for the kids. Adam went on holiday without me during half term, which was well deserved. He went on a bit of a boys' extended weekend break that was like 4 or 5 days of the half term with the kids. So I was just juggling the kids, the dogs, puppies, everything. And there was no way that I was going to film my usual mid-month update. That was not going to happen. But March should be calmer, sort of back to normal, and I should see you mid-month. So yes, take care. I hope you get some lovely stitching done. Oh, I hope those of you that are observing Lent have a lovely Lent, and that you're all looking forward to Easter, and I will see you at some point in the middle of next month. Take care, everyone. Bye.